Classic 1027.
It's 4 minutes after 7. Welcome to it, your Tuesday edition of Classic Business Breakfast. My name is Nastassia Arendse. I'm not alone as usual. I'm with Arabile Gumetes in studio.
Yeah, good morning, Tash. Quite a good show really today. A lot happening, everything from South Africa's growth right through to that load shedding issue. We do get to chat to Nastassia as well and get a quick update as well on just what exactly is happening. Is the strike really affecting operations that much? Because we initially thought that wouldn't be the case. And he is warning of load shedding for some time this week as well. How soon can that be? And can we expect some sort of timetable? Or is this just going to be haphazard and widespread? We'll get into all of that with Khulupasiwe in just a bit.
And the IMF has forecast South Africa to grow by 1.5% in 2018 and 1.8% next year. They've looked back at the achievements that South Africa has managed to tick off post-apartheid. But we're going to talk to Dr. Azar Jamim, who's the chief economist at Econometrics, to look at what are the actual structural impediments, what does President Cyril Ramaphosa have to grapple with, and is the 1.5% actually a realistic number? Could we actually undershoot that particular figure? So we'll get into all of that later on.
Yeah, and quite an ironic topic here, Tash, as we get towards the end of the show later on. Is BEE legislation to blame for the lack of transformation in South Africa's business sector? It may actually be a hindrance to some companies and indeed may not be willing to transform as they should. So we'll unpack that with Amber van Steiger, who's the senior associate at Norton Rose Fulbright, whether this really is the case or maybe they're just playing foul and making up excuses. We'll get into all of that and more over the next couple of minutes. Up until 8 o'clock, we're with you for your Tuesday edition of Classic Business Breakfast with Moneyweb.
This is Classic Business Breakfast with Moneyweb. Arabile Gumede and Nastassia Arendse on Classic 1027.
At 6 minutes after 7, taking a quick look at the markets. The Asian shares rather traded cautiously this morning, with investors focused on the Bank of Japan's decision at the end of the policy meeting later in the day. The Nikkei edged down by 0.3%, with the financial sub-index, which dropped 2.5%, the worst sectoral performer in morning trade. Elsewhere, Hong Kong's Hang Seng Index edged lower 0.4%. A similar magnitude of declines was seen in mainland markets, with investors digesting the release of official manufacturing PMI that slightly missed expectations. The Shanghai Composite shared 0.4%, and the Shanghai Composite inched down by 0.2%. Stocks in the US were actually affected by the technology shares that started last week in sort of negative territory, and it carried on into yesterday. The tech-heavy Nasdaq Composite dropped by 1.4% to 7,630. Shares of Facebook and Netflix fell 2.2% and 5.7% respectively. The S&P 500 declined 0.6% to 2,802 as the tech sector dropped 1.8%, and the Dow Jones Industrial Average dropping 144 points. European stocks closed lower as traders continued to digest earnings from a slew of corporates over in the UK side. And over here, the all share closed 0.2% higher, 57,313 points.
This is Classic Business Breakfast with Moneyweb. Arabile Gumede and Nastassia Arendse on Classic 1027.
Simon Brown, founder of Just One Lab, joining us as we unpack the market. Simon, Chas was just speaking about the Bank of Japan's decision. Do you think that has any bearing on how markets move today?